Hi Scorpio, happy September. I hope you're doing well. Okay. All right. Let's see here. We come into September with the Four of Coins, the Empress, the Hierophant, and Five of Coins. Okay. All right. Your advice here is the Five of Swords and the Page of Coins. Your outbound card is the Justice card, and our overall energy is the Page of Swords with the Death card behind it. So I'm going to take that, okay? Because I have a feeling we're going to need it. Okay. All right, let's see here. Okay. I think that we've got the Four of Coins and the Five of Coins, but in the middle, we've got the Empress. I think what might be happening here is, I think that in between real life, like your day-to-day, you're getting stuck in here. I think I think I just have a feeling of I think this is more about self-worth than monetary value, and I think that it's on your day-to-day here. I think that with the Four of Coins, it's stable, right? You're stable, but in the middle is the High Priestess, and then the Five of Coins is a card that shakes up that balance, right? But I think what's shaking up the balance is that I have a feeling of just wandering, like you want change, right? You want to do change. You want to take the steps for change, but you get preoccupied. Okay. I think you've got a lot on you. I think you carry a lot around, but I think that you take the long way home, right? I think that in the midst of trying to go forward, you're carting around a lot of stuff from the past that you're not wanting to let go. So your advice here with the Five of Swords and the Page of Coins is, the Five of Swords is just, it's a card of coming at things differently, approaching things differently. Fives are where we need to apply more grace, right? The Page of Coins, remember, it's do I invest in this? Do I save? Coming in with the energy of the Page of Swords, it's like, do I do this? Do I not do this? I think you're tripping yourself up, because the outbound card is the Justice card, which is saying that, again, you want stability in your life. You want, I think what you need to do is reorganize to get organized, because I think that as much as you want change, I think that you're trying to go about that in a way where you're mirroring it for I just think you need to see something through to completion, but I think you get distracted somewhere. And I think where you're distracted is that it's like you're fully engaged in mourning the past of not being able to really release things. Being organized and reorganizing, where this you've got two fives in here, right? Fives speak of drama, conflict, emotional control. You need to get out of here. That's what that Five of Swords, it will trip you up. And that's what the High Priestess is all about. She's about, the deep-seated things that are inside. But you've just got to really address those, because the Five of Coins too, it could be, again, He wants to go in a different direction. It's wanting to go in a different direction. It's just the whole plan needs to be, you're only going to accomplish what you see through to the end, right? I think that you may get sidetracked somewhere along the way, and that's either by being, you get so far down the line, and then you get pulled back into your subconscious, the things that you're telling yourself. Your advice here with that Five of Swords is to get off of you've got to exercise more of that emotional control, right? Control your mind before it controls you, okay? And the Justice card, there's a lot in that card. There's karma in that card too. So you may be trying to work through some dark things that you're carting around. But I think that what's happening though is also that you're not really open to that. I think as much as you want change, you're really not open to what it's going to involve, to really take a look at this stuff and just get rid of it here. I think that we're missing wands in here too. So there's no real desire. So I think you're going through the motions, or trying to go through the motions of something, and you're just not able to do it because your desire's not in it, right? With the Four of Coins too and the Five of Coins, it could be someone, it could be a relationship that although I really think it's just two sides of yourself. And I think that between balance and imbalance and the conflict is the High Priestess, which is you in here. You're not able to get out of there. I think that in one of our daily throws, there's a process that we go through. We've got to mourn things, right? And that's not just people. That's times in our lives. That's things in the past. That's forgiving and releasing things. And I think that you're trying to go forward. You have every intention of going forward, but something pulls you off the track and pulls you back into here. And I think without wands in here, those are, the fires within us, the things that we'll move mountains for, right? So I think that, I think there's a mismatch between the balance and the imbalance. I think really is about self-worth, right? I think that you've got to, I think the mind plays tricks on us, and I think that you've got to figure out a way to control it so that it's not controlling you. Okay? That's what I think is going on. A good way to exercise this, to try to get this muscle going, is to do it on things that you feel you have control over, like your work day, right? Your day-to-day. Because coins are our day-to-day. They're the things we can't get away from because we have to be present in the day-to-day. So they're things that you're finding diversion in, right? So we can very easily try to organize our work lives, and it's a little bit harder to organize, our internal self. So if you maybe try to start with organizing or reorganizing something in your work life, it makes it a little bit easier to stay regimented in the things that you're trying to change. I don't think here, I think the conflict is yourself. I think that if you've got a partner in your life too, I think that they're trying to, I think you're at odds, because I don't think there's no wands in here. So I don't think that, and there's no cups. So I don't think you're receptive to it. I think that these are the mechanics. You know how to do the mechanics, but they're not going to get you through what you're trying to change here, because that battle is inside. And I think that you're, like I say, I think that you're aimlessly wandering. You're preoccupied. You've got to get a plan in place, step by step by step, because you're not going to get where you're going here. You've got conflicting cards all over the place. So The energy in September is extremely confusing. So that's why I'm saying work on kind of things in the job arena. That's easier to structure and restructure and organize and reorganize, right? And then maybe the areas in your life there, I think you've got to release a stronghold, really focus, because somewhere along the line, I think you start out well, but I think you get preoccupied and pulled off your course and nothing gets finished here. Um, I think that your ticket out of here is you've got to get some control over this. I think you're living in the past. I think you're not letting things go. I think you're going to some pretty dark places. Um, but everything that it's like you're trying to live out in the world, but I think that you're stuck in here. And once you get out of there, it'll be easier to get things going here. You've got to also figure out why you're not receptive to this change, because I think that you're just disengaged. And with the death card here, which comes under this card, it's really just needing to let go of the things that are old. And that's probably what's tripping you up from moving forward. If we don't let go of things, we can't embrace new things, right? We can't get to where we're trying to go with old patterns, especially carting that junk in the trunk. And I feel strongly that that's what you're doing here. Because you've got the Nine of Coins here too, which is under here, but that can be, a card of isolation, right? Like really, I think again, you're in your head. I don't think that you're open to change. I don't think you're trusting change. The Five of Swords alone is a tough card, but next to the Page of Coins, it really just tells me that you need to look at something differently. The Page of Coins is all about looking at something differently, right? Like seeing a new way to do something. And the Five of Swords is a card of, again, it can be really just putting some boundaries in place and some holding yourself accountable to things. And when you start to feel that monkey on the wheel, get back in there. Because I think what happens here too is I think that when we come at things with resistance, we already are sending out the vibe of, I already have to protect myself. There's nothing here that you need to protect yourself from. What you need to set free, though, is yourself. Because I think that you're wandering aimlessly, and I think that you're mourning things from the past, but there's a period of mourning, and then we need to move on from that. Like we need to give that its due, of course, but I think that you're telling yourself a story here that's holding you hostage. I think that I think that you're fascinated with how things work, for sure, what makes people tick, right? But I think you're more engrossed in what makes other people tick than in yourself, and I don't think you're going to be able to make the shift here. The Justice card is on the end, so you've got universal guidance here. You've got heavenly justice here. You'll get your foundation back. It's just you've got to, because I think you're the one that's causing the upset in here, in the middle, right? Because the Four of Coins is stability, right? The Five of Coins is, if this isn't you, it's someone in your life. If this isn't you, it's someone in your life that the Page of Swords, if this isn't you, doing this and it's someone in your life doing this, that Page of Swords with the Five of Swords, that's tough energy. So if these are the things that you're telling yourself, you need to get a new way of thinking here. And that's what the Justice card is saying too. It's also not being who people want you to be. Don't take on personas or try to mirror personas of other people. Be yourself. But I think what's tripping you up here is you're associating yourself with like things from the past and you're not willing to let them go. It's like someone who just wouldn't know who they were without their story. You know what I mean? But that story is holding you hostage because I feel like you're taking the long way home is all I keep hearing is you're taking the long way home. You're trying to get underneath something, but from a way that's not going to get you there. It's like there's a roadblock ahead, right? Like you can't get past it, but every day you'll try to go that way. You'll just try to go and try to go and try to go that way. So you're not getting any further. You're just beating your head against the wall. That Five of Swords is a card that, and the Page of Swords too, they come at things with a lot of fear-based anger, right? So at the core of the things that we do, we're either coming at something being receptive and from a love perspective, right? Like we're receptive to change, we'll see what it has to offer. You don't have any wands here or cups. You've just got coins and you've got swords, which is telling me that you're fixed. You've got a deadlock on the way that you're doing something, and it's not going to get you where you need to go. I think that you're gestating something, gestating. It's just you're getting stuck in there, and it's pulling you off your path. I think you have the best intention. I know what you want to do, but I think that the inconsistency here, the inflexibility, instability is written all over here. You're preoccupied with the past and with things that have happened. What you're doing is you're not able to leave this in the past, so you're making it it's like you're mourning the past in the future. You're going to trip yourself up. You're not going to get out of here. That Five of Swords and that Page of Swords it's immature energy. You're never going to get out of the gate. And don't take offense to that. But at some point we need to just really stronghold this and take control over it, because it's taking you for a wild ride here, and you're not going to get where you're going, right? You've got to let something go here. So it's also, if this is a relationship or there's a relationship in this equation, you're being treated how you're letting people treat you. So if you think that why do I keep getting into these relationships, that it's because I think the persona that you're putting on is the one that you're feeling inside. So that's what's being mirrored back to you. You have self-worth. That's what this is all about. I don't feel it's monetary. I think it's internal self-worth, right? And I think the stories you tell yourself, you're tripping yourself up, right? I think you're creative. I think you can do amazing things. I just think that you're stuck in a world in here, and it's not a good one. It's an old story. It's a story though that you've become familiar with. So I'm going to suggest that you let it go, and that will bring more structure into your life, because in all honesty, what you plant here, and this is your advice, is going to grow. So you want to grow something else. But to do that, you've got to till the soil, and it's holding you hostage in here, okay? And this is tough. energy. So the things that you're telling yourself or whatever it is that's got you held here is crass. So you don't deserve that. You can easily get past this. I'm just going to suggest you really harness the things that you're telling yourself. You know, let things go. Forgive yourself. Honestly, forgive the situation, forgive the people involved. And that doesn't mean that you need to contact the people, right? A lot of times that we are looking for closure, we're looking for whatever. And I'll always advise someone, you're not going to find what you're looking for. There's nothing that person or thing can say to you that's going to set you free from this. You've got to feel it, acknowledge it, know it served a purpose, and then let it go, right? So that's what, if you need closure in something, if you need closure in even forgiving yourself, just say, I forgive myself. Even forgive yourself for your thoughts, right? It sets you free. Or forgive the other person, write the name, right? You know, in the, I forgive this, this, and this, in the betterment of my future, right? In the investment of my future. Because if you're weighed down by this, you're not going to get out of the gate. And I can feel that you want to do it. I just feel that it's like you get out, but then you're like, ah, and you pull yourself back in. So let that go. Find something to do. Find something repetitive. You know, that'll get your focus off of this. And again, it's just a muscle. When you feel yourself being pulled back down, write something. I'm going forward. This is my list for today. My action items for today, right? I'm going to stay out of my head and I'm going to tell myself only good things, because only good things are what I'm worthy of, and that's where I'm going, right? So there you go. I hope that I helped you in some way. I can see you're spinning your wheels, and I can see that this energy is confusing, but I think that you're stuck in mourning the past, but you're also mourning the future, which is odd because it's not here. If you were here in the day, there would be nothing wrong, right? That's when we have no regrets. If you didn't see the weekend throw, go look at that, because that in a nutshell is what's happening here, okay? So I think honestly, you can reorganize your life to make it wonderful, right? I just think you've got to let go of stuff in the past. Look at it this way. There's nothing we can do about it, right? So use it to your advantage and just say, you know what? That was me. But today, this is me. And I'm going forward. Today is a good day. And make it a good day, okay? If you need a private reading, please reach out to me. In a private reading, I can see what's under here. I can see exactly what this is and how to fix it. It may be something that you're not even aware of that trips you up, right? I've seen that very, very often. We think it's memories from the past, but it's really not. It's something else completely different. So again, this is a general reading. If you want a private reading, we can look at that. I'd be more than happy to do that for you, okay? Thank you so much. Have a wonderful September. I would seriously cut yourself some slack until September, till the mid-September. Okay, but at least now get some kind of plan on paper, okay? And include in that and sign it. I will not beat myself to death over the past, okay? I forgive myself and I let it go, okay? Forgive people, circumstances, forgive it all, really, and just release it, okay? Thank you so much.